99% of you are not subscribed to the channel. At 1,000 subscribers, I will post a series of special stories. Subscribe now. In the vast expanse of space, where humanity's reach had extended to numerous star systems, the planet Thasia stood out as a shimmering blue gem. Located in the Vela system, Thasia was almost entirely covered by oceans, with only a few islands dotting its watery surface. The Thalasians, an aquatic and highly intelligent species, had built their civilization beneath the waves, constructing magnificent underwater cities that glowed with bioluminescent light. Commander James Carter, a seasoned explorer and diplomat from Earth, had been dispatched to Thasia on a mission of diplomacy and knowledge exchange. The Galactic Federation had high hopes for this mission, as the Thalasians possessed advanced technologies that could benefit countless worlds. However, the Thalasians were known for their rigidly logical minds and their society's strict adherence to functionality, leaving little room for emotions or personal connections. James arrived in Nereid, Thalasia's capital city, in a sleek submersible craft designed to navigate the planet's deep oceans. The city's towering spires and elegant arches, illuminated by soft blue-green light, left him in awe. As he disembarked, he was greeted by a delegation of Thalasians, their sleek silvery bodies gliding effortlessly through the water. Among them was Dr. Lyra, a prominent scientist renowned for her research on human planetary interactions. Lyra's large, luminescent eyes studied James with a mixture of curiosity and skepticism. She extended a webbed hand in greeting, her skin cool and smooth to the touch. "Welcome to Thasia, Commander Carter," Lyra said in a melodic voice that echoed softly in the water. "I am Dr. Lyra. I have been assigned to assist you during your stay and facilitate our knowledge exchange." James smiled warmly, appreciating the Thalasian's straightforward manner. "Thank you, Dr. Neridian. I am honored to be here and eager to learn more about your remarkable civilization." Over the following days, James and Lyra spent long hours together, discussing technology, culture, and the differences between their species. Lyra's scientific curiosity led her to ask numerous questions about human biology and the concept of emotions, which were foreign to her people. The Thalasians viewed emotions as primitive remnants of their evolutionary past, unnecessary in their highly structured society. One evening, after a particularly intense discussion about human relationships and intimacy, Lyra approached James with a proposal. They were in one of Nereid's many observation domes, where the city's bioluminescent glow blended with the natural light of Thalasia's twin moons, casting an ethereal glow over everything. "Commander Carter," Lyra began, her voice hesitant for the first time, "I find myself intrigued by your descriptions of human intimacy and emotions. These concepts are beyond our understanding, yet they seem to hold significant value for your species. I would like to conduct an experiment to experience these emotions firsthand. Would you be willing to assist me?" James was taken aback by her request. He had anticipated sharing knowledge and learning from the Thalasians, but he had not expected such a personal and profound inquiry. "Dr. Neridian," he replied carefully, "I'm honored that you trust me enough to ask this. However, understanding emotions and intimacy isn't something that can be achieved through a simple experiment. It's a deeply personal journey." Lyra's eyes shimmered with determination. "I understand the complexity, Commander, but I believe that through structured experiences, I can gain a better understanding. Will you help me?" James nodded, sensing the importance of this moment. "All right, Lyra. We'll take it one step at a time, and I'll be here to guide you." Their journey began with simple, non-intimate gestures. James introduced Lyra to the concept of holding hands, a gesture that symbolized trust and connection in human culture. At first, Lyra found the act perplexing, but she complied, noting the warmth and gentle pressure of James's hand. They spent hours talking, sharing stories from their respective worlds. James spoke of Earth's diverse cultures, its art, and its history, while Lyra described Thalasia's logical approach to life and their technological marvels. As days turned into weeks, Lyra's curiosity grew. She experienced human laughter for the first time when James shared a humorous tale from his academy days. The sound of her laughter, melodious and light, echoed in the water, drawing curious glances from nearby Thalasians. One night, under the mesmerizing dance of bioluminescent sea creatures, James and Lyra floated side by side. The tranquil beauty of the scene seemed to bridge the gap between their worlds. James turned to Lyra, his expression soft and open. "Lyra, emotions and intimacy aren't just about physical contact. They're about connection, feeling close to someone, sharing moments, and understanding each other deeply." Lyra's gaze met his, her eyes reflecting the ambient glow. "I think I'm beginning to understand, James. These experiences, they stir something within me, something I cannot quantify but feel profoundly." James reached out, gently touching her cheek. "That's the essence of it, Lyra. It's about feeling, not just understanding." In that moment, Lyra experienced a profound shift. The logical boundaries of her mind expanded, allowing her to embrace the unfamiliar yet wondrous world of human emotions. This journey, she realized, was only beginning. And with James by her side, she felt ready to explore the depths of this new dimension of existence. Lyra's request for a structured experiment to understand human emotions and intimacy marked the beginning of a unique and transformative journey. She approached it with the same rigorous methodology she applied to her scientific research. But this time, the subject was her own emotional awakening. James, understanding the delicacy of the situation, agreed to guide her through the process, ensuring that it remained respectful and consensual. The experiment began with simple, everyday activities designed to elicit basic emotional responses. James took Lyra on a tour of the city's most beautiful and serene locations. They visited the Coral Gardens, an underwater forest of vibrant, glowing corals that stretched as far as the eye could see. As they swam through the garden, James pointed out the different species of coral and fish, explaining their behaviors and interactions. Lyra was fascinated, not just by the beauty of the coral gardens, but by the sense of peace and wonder it evoked in her. She noted her physiological responses, the quickening of her pulse, the slight dilation of her pupils, as she marveled at the natural beauty around her. For the first time, she began to understand the emotional depth that humans experienced. Next, James introduced Lyra to the concept of shared meals as a social and emotional activity. They visited a Thalasian restaurant that specialized in fusion cuisine, blending Thalasian and Earth flavors. James explained the significance of sharing food in human culture, how it was an act of bonding and a way to express care and affection. As they dined, James shared stories from Earth, recounting family gatherings, festive celebrations, and intimate dinners with loved ones. Lyra listened intently, absorbing not just the information but the emotions behind the words. She found herself laughing at his anecdotes, feeling a warmth she couldn't quite explain. Lyra's next request took the experiment to a more intimate level. She wanted to understand the physical aspects of human affection. James, always cautious and respectful, suggested they start with something simple, holding each other. In the privacy of her research chamber, designed to simulate various environments, they floated in a section modeled after a tranquil lagoon. James approached Lyra slowly, giving her time to adjust to the idea. He wrapped his arms around her, holding her gently. At first, Lyra stiffened, her logical mind struggling to process the new sensation. But gradually she relaxed into his embrace, feeling the steady rhythm of his heartbeat against her chest. "How does it feel?" James asked softly. Lyra closed her eyes, focusing on the sensations. "It's comforting," she admitted. "There's a sense of safety, of connection. It's different from anything I've experienced before." Encouraged by her response, James explained the significance of touch in human relationships. He spoke about how physical closeness could convey emotions that words often couldn't: reassurance, affection, even love. Lyra listened, her curiosity growing with each new revelation. The next phase of their experiment involved deeper emotional sharing. James suggested they spend time together outside their professional settings, engaging in activities that humans found emotionally fulfilling. They went on explorations of Thalasia's most breathtaking underwater landscapes, shared stories under the shimmering light of the twin moons, and even engaged in playful activities, like games that Thalasian children played. One particularly memorable day was spent in the Crystal Caverns, an underwater network of caves filled with dazzling crystals that refracted light into a spectrum of colors. As they swam through the caverns, Lyra found herself laughing and playing like she never had before. James taught her a human game, tag, which left them both breathless with laughter. That evening, as they rested on a soft bed of seagrass, Lyra turned to James with a look of wonder. "I never knew that such simple activities could bring so much joy," she said. "I feel alive in a way I never have before." James smiled, his eyes reflecting the ambient glow of the caverns. "That's the beauty of emotions, Lyra. They add depth and richness to life, making even the simplest moments extraordinary." As their bond deepened, so did Lyra's understanding of human intimacy. One evening, under the shimmering bioluminescent waves of Thasia, James gently kissed her. It was a soft, tender moment that sent a surge of unfamiliar yet pleasant sensations through her. For the first time, Lyra experienced pleasure not as a mere physical reaction, but as an emotional connection. Lyra's meticulous documentation of her experiences filled volumes. She noted the changes in her physiological responses, her mental state, and, most importantly, her emotions. She realized that understanding human intimacy was not just about physical acts, but about building a deep emotional bond. As weeks turned into months, Lyra found herself looking forward to her time with James. She appreciated his patience, his respect for her boundaries, and his willingness to share his world with her. She began to experience emotions that were entirely new to her: anticipation, excitement, and a growing affection for James. One night, as they floated together in the calm waters of a secluded bay, Lyra voiced a thought that had been forming in her mind. "James, I've come to understand that emotions and intimacy are about more than just physical sensations. They create connections that transcend logic and reason. I feel connected to you in a way that defies explanation." James took her hand, his touch gentle and reassuring. "That's because emotions are a fundamental part of being human, Lyra. They allow us to connect on a deeper level, to truly understand and care for one another." Lyra's eyes glimmered with newfound understanding. "I think I'm beginning to grasp that, and I want to continue this journey, not just as an experiment, but as a part of my life." James smiled, his heart swelling with affection for the remarkable Thalasian woman beside him. "Then let's explore it together, Lyra, one step at a time." And so, Lyra's experiment evolved into a genuine exploration of human emotions and intimacy. Her logical mind still sought to understand and quantify her experiences, but her heart, now awakened, embraced the joy and connection that came with them. The lines between research and personal journey blurred, leading Lyra to a profound transformation that would change her perspective forever. Lyra's understanding of human intimacy and emotions had grown profoundly since the start of her journey with James. What began as a scientific experiment had evolved into a deeply personal exploration of connection and pleasure. As she delved deeper into these new experiences, Lyra found herself questioning the fundamental tenets of Thalasian society. The Thalasians had always valued logic and functionality above all else, viewing emotions as primitive and unnecessary. Lyra's pioneering research and personal transformation, however, presented a compelling case for reevaluating these long-held beliefs. She began to see the potential benefits of emotional bonds, not just for individuals, but for their entire society. One morning, as Lyra and James floated in the tranquil waters of the Emerald Bay, she shared her thoughts with him. "James, I've been thinking a lot about what we've discovered together. Emotions and intimacy add a richness to life that I never imagined possible. I believe these experiences could greatly benefit my people, but I don't know how to convey this to them." James looked at her thoughtfully. "It's a big change, Lyra, but it's not impossible. You've already made great strides by understanding and embracing these emotions yourself. Perhaps sharing your personal journey and the scientific data you've collected could help others see the value in what you've experienced." Encouraged by James's words, Lyra decided to present her findings to the Thalasian Council, the governing body of her people. She meticulously prepared her presentation, combining her scientific research with personal anecdotes that highlighted the transformative power of emotions. She hoped to show that embracing emotions could enhance their society, leading to more profound and fulfilling lives. The day of the presentation arrived, and Lyra stood before the council, her heart pounding with a mixture of anxiety and determination. The members of the council, composed of Thasia's most esteemed leaders and scientists, regarded her with curiosity and skepticism. "Honored council members," Lyra began, her voice steady, "I stand before you today to share my findings on a subject that has long been dismissed by our society: human emotions and intimacy. Through my interactions with Commander James Carter, I have experienced firsthand the profound impact these elements can have on our lives." She proceeded to explain her research, detailing the physiological and psychological effects of emotions and intimacy. She presented data that showed how these experiences had positively affected her well-being, enhancing her creativity, problem-solving abilities, and overall happiness. "Emotions are not a hindrance," Lyra continued, her voice gaining strength. "They are a vital aspect of sentient life that can enrich our existence in ways we have never considered. I have felt joy, love, and connection, feelings that have made me a better scientist and a more compassionate being." As she spoke, she noticed a shift in the council members' expressions. Some showed signs of interest and curiosity, while others remained skeptical. One elder, Counselor Thasia, raised a webbed hand. "Dr. Neridian," he said, his tone measured, "while your findings are intriguing, how can we be certain that emotions will not disrupt the efficiency and order of our society?" Lyra took a deep breath, meeting Thalax's gaze. "I understand your concerns, Counselor. However, I believe that integrating emotions into our lives does not mean abandoning our values of logic and efficiency. Instead, it means complementing them. Emotions can drive innovation, foster deeper connections, and enhance our quality of life." To illustrate her point, Lyra shared a personal anecdote about a breakthrough she had made in her research, inspired by an emotional moment she shared with James. She explained how this new perspective had led to innovative solutions that benefited her work and could potentially advance Thalasian technology. Counselor Thalax nodded thoughtfully, his skepticism softening. "Your argument is compelling, Dr. Neridian. It seems there is much we have yet to understand about the potential of emotions." The presentation concluded, and the council deliberated for what felt like an eternity. Finally, the head counselor, a wise and respected Thalasian named Aqualus, spoke. "Dr. Neridian, your research and personal journey have opened our eyes to new possibilities. While we must proceed with caution, we agree to further explore the integration of emotions into our society. We will establish a committee to study this matter in depth, and you, Dr. Neridian, will lead this initiative." Lyra felt a surge of relief and gratitude. "Thank you, head counselor. I am honored to take on this responsibility." James, who had been watching from the sidelines, approached Lyra as the council session ended. "You did it, Lyra," he said, pride evident in his voice. "This is a huge step forward." Lyra smiled, her eyes reflecting the bioluminescent glow of the chamber. "I couldn't have done it without you, James. You've shown me a world I never knew existed, and for that, I am forever grateful." As Lyra took on her new role, she and James continued to explore their relationship, deepening their bond. Their story became a symbol of interspecies understanding and the transformative power of emotional connection. Lyra's work began to change societal perceptions, slowly but surely. Over the following years, Thasia saw a cultural renaissance. The Thalasians began to explore and embrace emotions, leading to a richer, more diverse society. Emotional intelligence was integrated into their education system, and new forms of art, music, and literature flourished. The once rigidly logical society began to appreciate the beauty of emotional expression. Lyra and James's relationship thrived, becoming a beacon of hope and understanding for both their worlds. They continued to learn from each other, growing together in ways that transcended the boundaries of their species. Their love story was celebrated not just as a personal triumph, but as a testament to the universal power of connection and empathy. In the end, Lyra's journey from procreation to pleasure was more than a scientific experiment. It was a profound transformation that altered the course of Thalasian history, proving that even in a galaxy filled with diverse beings, love and intimacy were universal forces capable of bringing joy and meaning to life.